Many years ago, on the edge of a small coastal town, stood a gray stone hill that few people ever visited. The road leading up was wrapped in wind and evening fog. At the top sat an old stone house with a thick wooden door that always remained closed. The man who lived there was named Rowan. No one in town knew where he came from. They only knew he was tall and broad-shouldered, his face marked with deep scars, as if he'd survived something terrible. He rarely came into town, and when he did, he kept his hat low and left before anyone could start a conversation. People whispered that Rowan was difficult, cold, so no one tried to know him. No one except Clara. Clara was the daughter of an old boat repairman. She grew up with the smell of wet wood and long, quiet afternoons. She learned to listen more than she spoke, watching people as if she believed everyone carried a story that had never been fully told. One day her father slipped and couldn't work. Clara agreed to bring food and medicine up the hill to Rowan, the same man who had quietly left money outside their workshop when he heard they were struggling. She was only told one thing: be careful, he's not like the others. She went anyway. When Rowan opened the door, his eyes paused in surprise, as if he was used to being avoided. Clara placed the basket down, told him her father sent his thanks, and turned to leave. But Rowan kept the door open. "Would you like to come in for some tea?" His voice was rough, like someone who hadn't used it much. From that day on, she returned every week. At first, they spoke very little. Rowan was awkward and reserved. But Clara noticed something important. He listened carefully. He remembered small details. Little by little, Clara learned that Rowan had been a builder. A collapsed structure took the lives of his coworkers, leaving scars on his body and a heavy sense of guilt in his heart. He isolated himself on the hill, convinced he no longer deserved connection. "People look at me and see what's broken," Rowan said one rainy evening. "But when I look at you," Clara replied softly, "I see someone who kept going." Winter passed. Slowly, people noticed Rowan coming into town more often. He no longer hid beneath his hat. He no longer avoided people's eyes. Clara stood beside him at markets during awkward conversations. During quiet moments when courage was still learning how to speak, he was still quiet. He still carried his scars. But his eyes had changed. They no longer looked away. They stayed. One evening, Rowan asked, "Were you ever afraid of me?" Clara smiled. "I was more afraid of missing who someone truly is." On the gray stone hill, the old house no longer felt cold. Not because it was repaired, but because, for the first time, someone had stepped inside and seen the beauty that never lived on the surface. Thanks for watching. If this story touched you, please give it a like and subscribe for more.